Welcome, Connie, to the Greater Boston Women's Impact Network VIP interview. So glad to have you with us today.
It's great to be here with you.
Thanks, Connie. So, Connie, take us back to the beginning. You have started Thrive on fresh food. How did that come to life?
During COVID, the work that I used to do, which was commercial interior design, came to an abrupt end when the state shut down construction projects. And I realized I didn't want to go back to that. And I was watching a webinar about food security, and I just got this very strange inspiration that was really powerful. So I jumped into volunteering at Greater Boston Food Bank and then community servings and Digger Foods and different places, just trying to get a feel for that world of people helping those who are food insecure. And one thing led to another. Now I'm in the process of starting to coach people individually and in groups and move into a nonprofit world.
What moment or experience made you realize this was the work you were meant to do?
I found Fresh Truck, which is an agency that only distributes fresh produce.
I've heard you use the term food as medicine. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, it's something I firmly believe in because maybe 13 years ago or more, I had been very sick for a long time with digestive problems, and doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I do a 3-week vegan cleanse, and all of my symptoms disappeared, everything, very quickly. And it just, it was a huge wake up call to me that food can be medicine because it changed the way I was feeling without any prescription drugs.
For those just learning about your work, how would you describe what Thrive on Fresh Food stands for? What's the core belief that guides everything you do?
That it's really important for all of us to learn we need to be eating more fresh food, more fruits, more vegetables, more whole grains, nuts. If any of us want to achieve great health, we have to be eating more fruits and vegetables. And um, our doctors don't tell us that. So that's what I want to encourage people to be doing.
That's a great segue into the next question. What do you wish more people understood about nutrition, wellness, or the healing power of food? Is there a misconception you find yourself often debunking for your potential clients or your clients?
Yes, definitely. Where do you get your protein is a big thing that I hear because people don't realize that there's protein in vegetables. There's a lot of protein in beans and tofu and soy milk and different things that most people don't consume.
That's a really great example. Thank you. What types of clients or organizations would get the best results from working with you? Who's your ideal client?
I would love to do some workshops for people who run food banks or agencies that work with people in need and show them the benefits of eating better. And then they may understand the benefit of then sharing that type of information with their clients that they serve.
Absolutely. Can you walk us through the kinds of programs or services that you offer? What does it actually look like to work with you?
Ideally, I would work with someone for a minimum of 3 months. And if it's an individual, it would start with a kind of an intake call, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. Initially, we would come up with a set of goals to work on over the 3 months, and then every week we would talk about those and anything else that has come up.
Sounds excellent. What about working with a nonprofit?
The best thing with nonprofits is going to be different types of workshops that could be done in less than an hour.
When I jump into more of your personal story, you talked about the inspiration during COVID and a little bit about your journey from there, but what happened before that? I know that your path hasn't been linear. You've reinvented yourself, taken risks, and kept moving with purpose. So jump in and tell us a little bit more about your story before the pandemic and what were you doing with your career?
And my high school was kind of like a vo-tech school, and I did a lot of drawing courses. And so I just found myself wanting to be an interior designer. And then my first job out of school was doing commercial work. And then look, that that career goes along with the economy, and I got laid off 3 different times, and the last time it was just like, "This is for the birds. There's gotta be a better way." And, an architect that I knew also got laid off at the same time, and he said he was gonna start his own business, and I said, "Oh, what a good idea." And so, we both started our own separate businesses. I did all of his work for many, many, many years, decades, until COVID happened. We were both working on a project together in Bedford, Mass. And, yeah, and then, you know, all of that was kind of happening just a couple years after my husband had passed away. And, my daughter was, in high school. And so it became more sensible to just sort of figure things out.
That makes a lot of sense. And then you already caught us up. With what happened during COVID and your journey with the food pantry, is there anything else you want to add to that?
I just there were a couple missteps that I made, in the beginning that I kind of thought, "Well, I'm not gonna be able to help unless I get a master's of public health." And so then I started taking part-time jobs here and there just to get out of the house, and so in 2023, I took a plant-based nutrition workshop through eCornell, and then in 2024, I took a 6-month plant-based coaching certification through the Food Revolution Network, and that was incredibly inspirational.
Tell you have a big heart for it, but entrepreneurship is often filled with obstacles. What were some of the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome on your way through entrepreneurship journeys?
Well, in my earlier business, there was the ebb and flow of work. Sometimes I was crazy busy when my daughter was really young, and I had to have lots of babysitters and full-time daycare when she turned 3. And then there were other times when I wouldn't have a lot of work. And then more recently, like how many credentials can I get to prove that I can really do this? So right now I'm about halfway through a program called Well Coaches that will, when I finish early next year, will allow me to sit for the national board exam for health and wellness coaches. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. It'll be a really good credential to have.
That's very exciting. I didn't realize that there was a national board.
Yeah. It's a certification because right now, the woman who started Well Coaches has done a lot of work with the government agencies to have health coaching paid for by insurance. And right now, it's only approved for Medicare patients. We're hopeful that in the next few years, the general population will be able to have insurance pay for health coaching.
That's wonderful. Opens up a great opportunity, right? What's next? Looking ahead, what's next for Thrive on Fresh Food? Any upcoming programs, launches, or dreams you're excited about heading into 2026?
In 2026, when I get through the national board exam, which you can imagine is a lot of work, um, I would say definitely by the middle of the year, I will be ready to start offering workshops to different agencies, and then also taking on private clients. I have 4 beta clients right now who are going through the 3-month process. And I might take on a few more people like that before I actually launch workshops and other programs.
Final question. If someone is listening and thinking, I need Connie in my life, what's the best first step for them to take?
Just set up a discovery call with me and we can talk about what your needs are and what you're thinking about.
Great. Is there a discovery call button on your website?
Yes, there is.
Thank you, Connie. And I hope you have a terrific 2026, so much lined up, and you put in so much hard work and wishing you all the best with your business.